guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jamie, and today's video I'm going to share my second update for my Project Pan 19 in 2019 series. If you hear any noises or see a bunch of movements, my cat's right back there in his little cone, so just keep that in mind. But if you want to see my intro video for my Project Pan and the first update where I finished off my first product, I'll link those in the description box down below and the cards so you can keep up with my progress so far. But I know I was excited last update, but I have made such progress this update and I'm so excited to share it with you guys. So if you want to see how I've been doing in my Project Pan, just keep on watching. So in no particular order, I'm going to start with the products. This is the Thayer's Witch Hazel Toner. My first update, I was up to there. My second update, I'm there, and now I'm here. I've kind of rekindled a love with this product. I use it when I'm kind of lazy and I use like a makeup wipe to go back and take off residual makeup. I find it refreshing. It doesn't irritate my skin or anything. And I forgot how much I love this. I currently have a few other toners I'm working through in my collection, but I would consider repurchasing this. It's super affordable. I picked it up at Target. I know it's also sold at Ulta. And I really like this and I can definitely see myself finishing this, if not by the next update, by the end of the year. Another skincare product that I've been working on is the Sunday Riley CEO Rapid Flash Brightening Serum. I definitely tend to use vitamin C serums more in the summer because that's when I get the most sun exposure and I'm really out there. So my first update, I was up here. My second update, I was down here. And now I'm pretty much around here. So once again, I don't think I'll be able to finish this by the next update around the fall, but I could definitely see myself finishing this through the year. As much as I like this tone or this vitamin C serum, it's not something I could see myself repurchasing it because of the high price tag. I got this product in an Allure beauty box when I was still signed up, and I'm so grateful to get it because I paid like $15 for the box, and this is like a $80 or $90 serum. But I want to try out some other vitamin C serums because this was my first introduction to vitamin C in skincare. A not so skincare item is the MAC Fix Plus. More recently, I've been getting back into setting my face because I wear more powders in the summer, but for a while I wasn't using setting spray, so this did not get much use. I don't think I updated it the first time, but that's my update right there from the second time, and now I'm down to here. So as you can see, it's some use, but I used to go through this thing like water, but I also have more setting sprays in my collection as well. I'm definitely going to be able to finish this up, especially in the summer because I tend to be powdering my face more and I like this to sit on my powders. But I don't know if I'm going to repurchase this. I remember when I went to the MAC store the first time, I was like, I've heard about this thing on YouTube and it's like magic water. But I have other more affordable setting sprays like the Morphe setting spray that kind of does the same exact thing as this. The eyeshadow palette that I've been working on is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Prism palette. Last update, I hit pan on one shade. But this update, I have pan on a second shade. So I already had pan on the shade Unity, and now I have pan on the shade Saturn. I put this palette into my project because I wasn't really getting inspired by it, and of all my Anastasia palettes, it was the one that I neglected the most. But I love having this in my project because I'm able to continue to get use out of it, and I've created some really beautiful looks. Although this palette looks really intimidating, I've actually been able to use this and wear it to work for pretty neutral looks, which is why I've hit pan on some of the neutral shades, but this really helps spark my creativity and I love incorporating this with other existing Anastasia palettes. A foundation that I've been working on is the LA Girl Pro Matte Foundation. On my first update, I was up here. My second update, I was down here. And now I'm saying I'm around here. I knew this would be one of the trickiest products to use up in this project and at least I had the awareness. But it's something I'm going to use more in the summer because it is a matte foundation. But the issue with this foundation is that it's too light for my skin tone, so I constantly have to mix it in with other foundations. I would consider repurchasing this foundation in a shade that's right for me, but as of now, I really want to get it out of my collection because it doesn't match me whatsoever. Another really exciting update is my number 7 bronzer in the shade Golden Sand. If you've been following the project, I had some really serious pan on it prior to beginning, and I just wanted to finish up the product. And I have, and I am so excited. I've already purchased a new one of these, and I'm just excited to finish up a product. This really is one of my favorite bronzers, and I already have a new one in my collection that I've used, and I'm just excited to go through a product that I really loved and be able to get continual use out of it. And by finishing this up, it also helped me get through and rotate some of the other bronzers in my collection. So the other bronzer that I had in my project pan was the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I by no means thought I would finish this up during the project, but I'd like to get some use out of it and hit pan. And somehow I did just that. There's a little pan right there. I was honestly so surprised when I used this. I used it as a bronzer, but I've also been using it in the crease. I tend to on day-to-day basis go for really light eye looks. Today I just put a brown shadow in the crease and a little bit of liner and mascara, and I popped on this lip for video because I was wearing like a nude lip gloss. So I've been using this bronzer all over the face and in the crease and lower lash line. So that's how I think I was able to get this dip. I've gone through phases with this bronzer. To be honest, in the beginning I didn't see the hype, but the more that I use it, the more that I like it. And the scent just smells like summer vacation. So excited to hit pan on this, but I'm definitely going to keep it in my project and get more use out of it. I've been working on the ColourPop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Blaze. This was in collaboration with Kathleen Lights, and I've definitely made some serious use out of it. It's a little flaky now, but as you can see, I've hit pan and there's a little side chunk coming off. I used to love the Super Shock shadows, but now they're not really my favorite and they're not something I would repurchase from ColourPop. But because I paid for them, I really want to get my money's use out of them. This is a pretty shade, but I think it is also starting to dry up, which is one of the reasons that I want to get use out of it, finish it up, and get it out of my collection. Another ColourPop product that I'm working to is their Supernova Liquid Shadow. I have mine in the shade Running in Orbits, and if you've watched any of my other updates, you know how much I actually hate this thing. Compared to my other liquid shadows, this is dry, it's flaking, and it has no longevity. I can't really tell how much use I'm making out of this because it's super opaque on the sides, but if this is something that I don't finish by the end of the year, I'm going to toss it because I am so unhappy with this ColourPop formula. It's probably the only product from ColourPop I've ever considered a complete fail. It's flaky, it doesn't work well, and I have to really force myself to use this. And the last ColourPop product I have is their cream gel liner in the shade Honey Dude. I had some decent use out of this, but I've definitely been using it more. That's how much I have left, and I can totally see myself finishing this by the end of the project. I like to use this liner when I do more neutral eye looks, and I actually wore it to work today. I find that it's nude and it gives it just a perfect little awakening look, but it's not too stark on the waterline. Out of all of my ColourPop eyeliners, I think this one is the least long lasting, but they recently reformulated their cream gel liners, and I have a ColourPop haul probably coming soon. I don't know when I'm planning on filming it or when this video is coming out, so I'm definitely repurchasing more of their liners, but my favorite nude liner actually comes from the Sephora collection, so I'm not planning on picking up Honey Dude again. The highlighter in my collection has been the Balm's Merry Luminizer. I definitely had some serious pan on it before, and I talked about in my prior update that I wanted to get to the third ring. And as you can see, I'm well past that. I can see myself finishing this up, and if you asked me a while ago if I would ever finish up a highlighter, I would say no. Especially not this one. This was my pride and joy and my #1 treasured possession. But it was also my first highlighter and my only highlighter in my collection for a while. But now that I have more highlighters, I'm able to get use out of them, and I love this. It has such a special place in my heart, but when it's gone, I'll be able to rotate through my highlighters in my collection. So we did have a mishap during this project, and it comes from the Tarte blush in the shade Party. I'd love to tell you that I finished this entire thing, but honestly, it cracked before I could ever hit pan. I liked this blush while I was using it. I actually thought I'd be able to hit pan on it, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to toss this. I am replacing this with another product, so just stay tuned to the end of the video to see what I'm replacing it with. I've been working on 2 different lip products, and one of them is the CoverGirl lipstick in the shade Truffle Tease. The more I use this, the more I love it, and I actually have used a decent amount. I've done a really bad job taking progress photos, but I can tell that I've used this so much and that it's definitely going down. I realistically don't think I realized how hard it would be to finish up a lipstick, but if I was going to finish up any of them, it would be this one. This is the perfect nude, and I love the formula. It's super creamy and doesn't dry out your lips, and I love just tossing it on at the end of the day before I'm going out for a little bit of color. The other lip product that I'm working on is the Pixie Tinted Lip Balm, and this is in the shade. Unfortunately, the shade has worn off. I have only a little bit of this product left, and I definitely think I can get good use out of it in the summer because I tend to prefer sheer lipsticks and lip glosses, and this is a tinted lip balm. I find this formula to be tricky to deal with because I do think it accentuates dry patches on the lips, but I think I can finish this up, but I'm not going to be repurchasing it. A product that I've struggled to make work for me is the NYX HD Liquid Concealer. This is obviously not my shade, and it's in the shade 08. Does it say the shade? Just 08. I use this as a liquid bronzer, and I struggled because I was putting it on my face and then blending it out, and it was too full coverage and streaky. But I found the way to work with this is put it on my hand first and then apply it from there. So now that I found a way to make this work for me, I can definitely see myself getting more use out of it and ideally hitting pan or finishing it. I also had the e.l.f. Shimmering Facial Whip. I've used this more, and I don't know, for some reason I never thought to mix it in with my foundation or my primer. And now that I have, this is totally gonna be finished up by the next update. I don't know if you could see because of the lighting, but there's definitely a gap and there's not much left. It's only a few more uses. It's starting to do that thing where it sputters air bubbles now. And the last product in my project are my Coastal Scents Single Shadows. I mentioned that I wanted to hit pan on 2 of these, and I could definitely see myself getting progress on it. The shades that I can likely see myself hitting pan on are the shade Oatmeal Tan, which is a warm brown, and this shade, unfortunately the name I don't know offhand, Caramel Ice, which is just a pretty caramely gold color. They're the shades that I have the most serious pan in. I go back and forth with this palette. This was my only single eyeshadows at the time, and as you can see, I've gathered a great array of colors, and I wanted every look that I could create under the sun. But now that I have a lot more eyeshadows, I realize this formula isn't it. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely some hidden gems, and the shimmers are pretty good, but the mattes just are patchy and they don't blend out well. Except for this red one. This red one is kind of awesome. But I want to make sure I'm getting use out of this too, because I did buy it and the shimmers are good and I don't want to neglect it just because it's a bit older and not the best. But I think eventually I'm going to have to pass this palette on to a friend because it's not getting the love in my collection that it deserves. So I did mention that I was going to replace the Tarte blush in the shade Party. And I'm replacing it with the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation in the shade 101 Classic Ivory. For a matte foundation, I actually kind of love this, and it's like the perfect shade for my skin tone. But this is one of the oldest foundations in my collection, so I really just want to finish it up and get it out so I'm not keeping it, and I like to rotate through my makeup. I could definitely see myself finishing this summer. I tend to prefer slightly more matte foundations in the summer because if I'm going to get oily, I'm going to get oily in the summer, and this foundation is just so beautiful and the perfect shade match for me. So I can definitely see myself finishing it up. I'd say it's about a third full now. So this is what I'm going to use to replace the blush in the shade Party. So that wraps up my 2019 Project Pan update. How do you think I'm doing? Because the fact that I finished one product, hit pan on my eyeshadow, hit pan on my bronzer, and I finished my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in my last update, I am so proud of myself considering this is my first adventure into project panning. Are you doing a project pan for 2019? How's it going? I love if you let me know down below. If you like this video, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel. I post about 2 videos every week, and I'd love to have you join me on my next one. Thanks for watching.